For this question, it says 19% of an adult population suffer from an anxiety disorder. And suppose a test of 300 random college students showed that 51 suffered from an anxiety disorder. So part A asks, how many of the 300 would you expect to have an anxiety disorder if the 19% is in fact correct? So I'll bring up a calculator, but the way to figure out this number is to take 300 and multiply it by 19%, which is 0.19. So this is the number that I would expect. If this percent is correct, it should be 57 of the 300. So I'll go ahead and put that in here, say 57. Okay. Now part B asks, suppose you're testing the hypothesis that the population proportion of college students suffering from an anxiety disorder is not 0.19. We want to first choose the correct figure that would represent this. For an alternate hypothesis, there are three options. You can be less than a value, greater than a value, or just not equal to this value. And the not equal is what this question is asking because it says that we're not 0.19. So I want to choose the graph that best reflects this. I don't think it's this one A because this is a less than. Notice that the area is less than a given value. I don't think it's B because this appears to be like a greater than, like you're greater than a given value. To say, not equal to something means you could be both, well, either below or above. So I'm looking for the option that has two tails. So I'm going to go with C. And the last part here is to interpret the p-value. Notice that below the graph, it gives you both the z-scores and the corresponding p-value. So I want to choose the right option here that reflects this. And for starters, it's not going to be part A. It's got to be B, C, or D. It's something like if 19% of the population suffer, then there's some type of percent chance that something happens. It's not going to be C because this is saying only less than, and it's not going to be D because it's saying it's only greater than, and I want to choose the option that reflects both a less than and a greater than, which would be B. So if 19% of the population suffer from an anxiety disorder, there is okay, and this is where we can put in the p-value. It says to round it to 2 decimal places, but that's after you record it as a percent. So what we can do is take this value and multiply it by 100, which changes it to 37.72, which will be 2 decimal places. So I'm going to put 37.72. So then there is a 37.72% chance we'll observe a z-score less than negative 0.883 or greater than positive 0.883. The suspense, can't take it. Is this correct? Okay, it is. Wow, that took forever, but that's all that we were looking for in this question was use this percent, assuming it's correct, what number would you expect? And then after analyzing the data, interpreting what the p-value actually means.